Hi, I'm Josh. I'm 24 years old and I'm going to be studying international sports management this year. So growing up, sports were a pretty big part of my life. As a kid, I learned to swim, I played hockey, I played football, as a Dutch person, obviously, water sports were quite a big part of it. So I've done sailing, I've done kite surfing, I've done rowing. And then as I got older, I also got into some more extreme sports like skiing, snowboarding in the Alps, and also climbing and boxing. So most of these I did just stick to doing the sport myself. However, I did get into actually training and coaching in a few of them. Obviously with stuff like swimming, skiing and football. If I was with other people, I would try and give them some advice, see where I could help them. But for hockey, I was actually a trainer for quite a few years, and I was also a rowing trainer and coach for a number of years, to the point where I wouldn't be surprised if I were to see some of my former students in a few years at the Olympics. And with climbing, I actually ended up making it my job, which is what you can see right here around you. I work as a rescue climber at a rope course. So if anyone does get stuck somewhere up there, it's my job to go up and either see if they need any help getting further, or in the worst case scenario, if they do need to go straight down, I guide them down back to the ground and see where they want to go from there. I've worked myself up there to the point where now I'm also a supervisor, so I'm actually in charge of the place. That's kind of how I ended up realizing that I kind of needed a switch in career paths. So this rope course is part of a company that also has a water sports center, and over the years I kind of realized that I take way more pleasure out of helping people do activities that are also, they're fun, but also, help keep them fit. So these experiences of being a coach, being a trainer, but also working here in the rope course and all the other activities that they've got here, kind of taught me a lot about how to motivate people, the different types of people you'll have in front of you, and how everyone kind of wants to get something else out of the sport, and how you need to learn to use different methods to motivate people to achieve their goals. Now you'll find that distinction here quite a bit if you compare, for instance, a bachelor party to a kid's birthday party. They're going to need a different approach, and I think this is very important that people need to learn that not everyone. So even coaching, it's not that clear cut. You need a different approach for different types of people, and learning to do that is almost as essential as learning how to do the actual sport itself. You don't just need the knowledge, you need to be able to apply the knowledge and to be able to transfer the knowledge. So there's some lessons that I learned from training and coaching people. I also helped organize a rowing match that actually ended up being shown in the New York Times. And from that, I just learned tons about everything that goes on around around an event or a sport. There's so much more to it than just the athletes themselves, although they are the most important, I'd say. There's a lot of organization around that, and I wanted to learn more about that. So that's kind of how I ended up at international sports management. So yeah, I think it's very important that people are able to find the sports that really motivate them, that there is availability for these sports, I think sports are just great to stay fit while at the same time not feeling like you're having to do it. You're doing it because it's actually fun. It's entertaining. It may be a bonding experience with people. I just think there's a lot of benefits, and I think sports can be utilized quite a bit more than they currently are. Now, an element of sports that I do think is overlooked quite a bit is everything that goes on around the sport. Most people can understand the athletes and what they're going through, but what I think most people don't understand as much is the organisation required around it. And I look forward to learning more about that during this course, just because it gives you a greater understanding of the field as a whole. As a coach and as a trainer, I've experienced quite a bit about the organisation around it and how much can go right and wrong, and also how that influences the sport in itself, and how essential it is to grow the sport. The organisation around the sport is actually done well and done in a way that supports the athletes, which are very much at the core of every single sport there is, but who can't do anything really if there isn't the support system around it. Now, the reason I want to study this or learn more about this at the Hague University of Applied Sciences is pretty simple, really. It's nearby, admittedly. I've built up my whole life in Leiden. I live in Voorhout, so having a course that's somewhat nearby, but does include everything that I do want to learn, is ideal for me. So that's why I chose this specific university to study at. Now, as for how I think international sports management will influence my career over the next 5 years, I will continue to work here at the rope course, and I'll be branching out a bit more into the other aspects of the company, just to learn more about the organizational structure as well. At the same time, I've got a handshake agreement for an internship at a boxing organization. They organize boxing events for students, and I look forward to doing that. And this may help. I may pivot into the world of boxing or combat sports at a later time, if that doesn't entice me. Apart from that, I'm kind of just going to see how it goes, and I'll be looking out for opportunities and grabbing them with both hands if I do come across them. So how did I end up at international sports management? Before this, I've done 2 courses. I did security studies, and during COVID, I decided I wasn't going to continue and switch to something else. I switched to English, which also didn't really work out, and in the meantime I've just been working either part-time during studying, or when I stopped I'd be working full-time here, and it basically ended up being the case that my friends just told me, look Josh, you're not actually as happy when you're studying as you are when you're actually doing work, when you're working with people, when you're getting people excited for sports. So why not try to do something with that? So I started looking at courses in the area that were more to do with sports, and I managed to narrow it down to 2 courses. Either the course that allowed to be a gym teacher, or international sports management. And out of those 2, I decided that international sports management would be the better challenge, the more all-encompassing course, and I figured I'd learn more, I'd get more experiences, I'd learn more skills that were applicable to my life beyond just a job after finishing uni. And I wasn't so boxed into to a position as a gym teacher, but had a more broader range of possibilities after finishing uni. So how do I think I can be a game changer in the sport? With any sport I've done, I would tend to be one of the more intelligent ones of the group, and with that, sometimes one of the more lazy ones. Now, sports are very much an aspect of my life where I managed to keep the laziness at bay somewhat, but it did lead to me becoming very efficient and tactical in my approach to any sport that I did. Whether this was trying to figure out my opponent in boxing, or working with someone and trying to figure out any mistakes they made, or trying to figure out a good game plan for a team sport like hockey or football. And this I think this intelligent approach is both lacking somewhat in the world of sports, but at the same time also more prevalent than the general public realizes. And I think that image could definitely be changed quite a bit, especially in combat sports, where I've noticed it quite a bit, is people tend to see it as very much a showcase of physicality, where I would say that the intelligence aspect of it is way more important than people actually realize. So I hope to do something with that, both the image and of sports being for unintelligent people, because I think that's hindering people as a whole quite a bit. Is that sports are pushed aside by a lot of very intelligent people, because of the image of being a jock or whatever. And I think we're slowly getting out of that nowadays as well, but I think we're not there yet. So I definitely think that I can do something to help in that situation. And I definitely think that I can play a good role in doing so. So yeah, that's a little bit about me and why I chose to apply for international sports management, and I look forward to getting started.